And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and today we are celebrating the fact that I've actually accomplished 90 days of complete semen retention, and I've overcome that challenge, and I want to share the benefits that I've experienced throughout this journey, and I'm fired up about explaining everything in it, including the stories that I'm going to put in there. Let's start with the background story about me. If you haven't been to my channel before, I got married 10 years ago in October, and before that time, I was quite religious during that time, and I basically practiced semen retention without even understanding it, without even knowing the benefits, without even knowing what was going on at the time. So I've always been a very positive person. I've always had a lot of the things that I'm going to describe now. But at the same time, I got married 10 years ago and I started ejaculating continuously. Like, I've had regular sex throughout my entire marriage because, you know, my wife is wonderful. So, but what happened is that, I've kind of discovered semen retention along the journey, but never been really practicing semen retention, like, consciously. So 90 days ago, I managed to decide that I was actually gonna completely have no ejaculations at all. So we basically, for 30 days before she was gonna travel to America together with the kids, we're moving there permanently, I decided that I was not gonna ejaculate for the rest of the time that she was here. So for those 30 days, I didn't ejaculate at all, but we had normal sex. And then following those 30 days, she left with the kids to America. And then since then, I've been in Norway waiting for my visa, and I've had 60 days more with complete no ejaculation, no porn, and to add that to it, no nocturnal emissions either. A lot of people out there say that, oh, it's not possible to complete a 90-day challenge without nocturnal emissions. Well, that depends. If your system has been on hyperdrive for a very long time, then it will be normal for you to have nocturnal emissions. During the time when I was having a lot of sex, and practicing semen retention back in the day, then there would be nocturnal emissions. But the past 30 days, or the 30 days that I had it with my wife, there was no nocturnal emissions, by chance, I guess. And then these 60 days has been pretty easy because there's been, she's not been here. And it's just been me, so I've had no issues, none so ever. So that's the background story. And let's go into the benefits that I've received from this 90-day challenge to see if perhaps you will desire to do the same. First of all, I put this into three things, and it's kind of one category. It's increased testosterone, because I know that a lot of benefits that come from semen retention is because you get an increase in spike in testosterone in your system. And that has led to increased motivation and increased discipline. The thing is that once you have that in your life, what happens is that your sperm production kind of over those first 30 days will normalize to normal levels. So you won't have the up and down emotional issues. Instead, you will be very stable, but you will have a continuous engine, if you can call it that, of motivation, and that will spur you on to be disciplined. Because, if you've got tons of motivation, but you don't put it into action in your life, then it's useless. But if you actually apply that motivation and use it for worthwhile purposes, like, for example, achieving your goals, then you'll start using that motivation to be disciplined. A story in terms of that is what has happened with my morning routine since my wife left. What has happened is that in the last few weeks, I've been waking up, well, it's been actually 2 months now. I've been waking up 6:30, 6 o'clock, and then I've continuously, gradually moved it to 5:30, to 5 o'clock, and now I wake up 4:30 no matter what. At the same time, it must be said here that I still get in my 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep no matter what, because I go to bed at 8:30 or 9. Exactly. Who does that? Me. Because I have the motivation and the discipline to also understand that the morning hours are the best hours of the day to think. No distractions, no phone calls, no emails, no nothing. It's just you. And if you love to exercise and it's warm where you live, you can exercise outside. There's no cars. You hear the birds. Man, what a way to start your morning instead of like, oh, alarm clock. And then you suddenly have to go to work and, you're depressed the rest of the day. No, I do have my alarm clock still, but I wake up with the smile on my face and then I start my morning routine, which is exercise, which is shower, which is eat my breakfast and talk to my wonderful wife in America. And then I've got my day going. It's fantastic. The next thing I would say is, to be honest with you, I've never been more fired up about my future, about my life right now, about my current circumstance than I've ever been before. Now, I'm a business owner. I quit my full-time job in October 2016. Since then, I've worked as a self-employee. I went bankrupt 3 months ago. Like, you're not supposed to be fired up outside of your brain. I'm fired up outside my brain. And I put a lot of emphasis that I believe it's because of this. And I've been fired up a lot throughout my life. Like, I'm an extremely positive person, but not like a Pollyanna guy, I think. But, you guys who know me, you might say differently. But the point is, I'm really excited about life, and I'm extremely excited because of my purpose. Like, my purpose have become so clarified, which leads me to my second thing, which is focus and creativity. In terms of focus and creativity, what has happened? Here's a story for you. Yes, of course, the task at hand, being able to focus on something and do it until you finish, that's great. But I'm going to apply focus into a different area. And that is in terms of your career, your purpose in life. Because before this happened, this past year and a half, I've had a transportation business with several vans that moved around Oslo and did their thing. And I've worked myself in it. I became a very proficient driver in delivering packages. But that's an hourly rate. And I get paid based on results and based upon how many packages I deliver myself. Is there any passive income in that? Absolutely not. You should be thinking about working on your business, not in your business, if you're a true business owner. If it's only you in your business, it's not a business. You've got to have other people. You've got to have a team. And what has happened is that because of all this extra energy, discipline, motivation, and the things that I've gotten from semen retention, what has happened is that I've taken my purpose and I've been able to channel it more in a more focused way to basically determine that okay, so this is what happened 1 month ago. I set a financial goal that will be achieved by September. That's when I leave to the States. And I want a financial result so I can start the process of paying down all the people that I owe. And there was a guy who said, hey, you can make $10,000 to $15,000 if you do this project with me. We're going to do these bikes and you're going to drive around town and basically help me to get this system up and running. And I'm like, yes, awesome, 10 to 15,000. This is going to massively help me towards my purpose in terms of giving me cash so I can pay people back so I can move towards my purpose. But then I'm like, no, me driving is not acceptable because I have a greater goal, a greater purpose, and I'm willing and fearless enough to say, you know what? I don't want the now money. I want the future money and the passive income, and I want to work on things that I'm passionate about and fired up and excited about. Not someone else's project where I have to slave away for them in order to make results happen. Now, if you're in a job, I don't judge you at all. That's fantastic. That's great. And you're learning important skills. But at one point or another, you will have to make a decision of leaving your job or quitting school in order for you to move on to your purpose, to what you're going to do with your life. I mean, really, having a job for way too long, you're just postponing what you're meant to do in life. And you're procrastinating, and the more time you allow it, the more fear builds up in you. So if you're young, don't get trapped in that high income, high expenses syndrome. You want to keep your expenses down and then get rid of the jobs and get rid of school so that you can build a business and passive income that supersedes. Anyway, moving on. But I'm excited about this. Okay, so that was that. And the next one, which is the last one, confidence, energy, and positivity. So you see the positivity, you hopefully see the energy. I have this energy, by the way, throughout the entire day. This is not just a show I put on for you guys. I'm literally fired up. Like when I call people, I do cold calling and I ask people, so how are you doing today? And they're like, yeah, no, I'm doing good. You know, how are you? And I'm like, I'm fantastic. And like you can hear on the phone that I'm fired up about life because I am. And that increases my confidence because they start chuckling on the other line and they're basically like, man, these guys on something. And I am, but they don't know it's sperm retention. But anyway. So, if I was going to rate 90-day challenge of semen retention and the benefits of it on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 10. Like, hands down, no questions asked, it is a 10. And you should definitely, if you've never done a 90-day challenge, you should definitely do it. And I'm kind of saddened that I haven't done that, like, before now. Because, I mean, I've been married for 10 years, man. I've been striving to get results in my life and do all these things. There's so much clarity, confidence, energy, and excitement in my life because I started that process. And just some more things. In terms of attraction, like there's a lot of people who basically talking about, oh, you know, girls are looking at me all the time. Yes, I admit I've had that too, but I haven't had that focus, okay? So if you're into that and you want girls to be attracted to you, then great. But personally, I think women are a waste of time if you're in the 90-day cycle, okay? If you've never done the 90-day challenge before, forget about women. It's a waste of time. Focus rather on yourself, your goals, your purpose, and you educating yourself to conquer the world. That's what I would do if I were you. Okay, recommendation. If you're doing the 90-day challenge, what I recommend is to document 2 things before you start. Or if you've just started the process, document things as fast as possible. Document the way you look. I'm talking about now your body, okay? Strip down to your boxers, take a picture of yourself in front of the mirror, and basically look at that result. In 90 days, I want you to look again at the result and see the difference. Because that's documentation. We got to document this stuff. And I also want you to document in your journal. I mean, just use a binder, guys, and write down what you're currently thinking about right now. Write down your current circumstances, how much you're making, your motivation to do things, your discipline, your actions. Like, write down your current circumstances. In 90 days, I want you to do that again and then compare the results. And then you'll know for yourself how much of a difference semen retention and that 90-day challenge has done in your life. And if it didn't work, then great. Then at least you know it doesn't work. And then I want you to make a video and say, hey, I did the 90-day challenge. It didn't work. Because there's very few of those. So I want yours if you do that. And at the end, I wanted, about a month ago, I gave you guys an overview over my growth on my YouTube channel in the past 60 days of that time. So the 60 days before these 30 days, if you understand what I mean. So before this past month. And this was my growth during this past year. So I've had growth from May last year, and then you see the exponential massive growth that have happened the past 3 months. But this is 1 month ago, and this is the stats from now, today. You see the 46,000 watch time minutes, most important statistics on YouTube, went up to 86,000. So in the past month, I've literally doubled the watch time that I've had this past year, just from the past month. So I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you. Yes, you for smashing that like button and watching this channel as much as you do, because you're awesome. All right, we're spreading happiness, joy, confidence, motivation, all of that stuff to men everywhere. I'll see you again tomorrow.